Hey sweet soul, welcome back to Conscious Lifestyle Coaching. My name is Raileigh Duschen. I'm an author, poet, speaker, and healer. Today's message is Sister Lead the Way. I'm going to start with a dream that I had the other night. It was in the middle of my second hurricane experience, or at least trying to escape and find respite away from chaos and destruction. And I'm with my fiance. We're in beautiful Charleston, South Carolina. We're camping in a beautiful park, and it's raining, it's windy, and I'm trying to sleep in. So, of course, the environment around me produced this dream where I'm in a big open field and I'm looking out into the field, and I start to see this lion run into the field and start preying and hunting on this animal, an antelope or something. And I thought, wow, this is crazy. Why is there a lion right here? Why am I witnessing it? And it was just really intense, right? I'm witnessing one of the most intense and dangerous animals in the world hunt right in front of my eyes, not too far away from me. And I'm watching the scene unfold, and it's stormy and it's cloudy, and suddenly things get even more intense. Suddenly I see a giant wolf, like 20 feet tall, and I'm thinking, okay, so now there's lions and there's just so much happening. Now there's giant wolves, and I was feeling really intimidated at the time. I was feeling absolutely terrified. Something was not right. Something is unusual here, right? And again, I'm like freaking out. Okay, I'm thinking I need to do something about this. This is obviously not safe. And then I see these zombie beings come out and coming towards me, and I recognize these zombie beings as reminiscent of drowning victims, of ghost-like figures, of just yeah, truly the forgotten, the abandoned, the abused, just coming towards me in a very haunting and terrifying way. And it was weird because I'm recognizing, oh, these are terrifying beings. They look like demons at the same time. It was this inevitable spirit that I understood why this was happening, and I understood why they were coming towards me, because I am full of life, because I'm standing in this field, possibly looking as prey, or possibly looking as a way out as well. And I have to go within, and at that moment I wake up because that was my escape. I just transported myself out of that realm. That was a no thank you. And the next dream I had transitioned to this dining experience with women. And again, this message is called Sister Lead the Way. But first, before I move on, I want to make a disclaimer that I'm not comparing necessarily the animals or the demons I witnessed to the people that I'm going to mention that I don't know in this dream. But take it as a mirror, take it as a resonance. I want to first state that I understand that that first dream is a reflection of all the stress that I'm enduring because of the hurricane destruction in the southeast, and other things in my life, that I am being called to face the unknown, face the wilderness, right? In this next stage of my journey. And I recognize that was a mirror reflection of the wilderness and the strangeness and the I guess the immediacy, the urgency, the danger of what journey I'm about to embark on, and that was a reflection of myself. But the dream switched, and how my spirit spoke to me later as I meditated on the night of that feeling of strangeness, of overwhelm, of concern, of this hauntingness, of this unusual chaos, is reminiscent to how many people are feeling right now socially. And so this next dream, I'm transported to this big, beautiful dining table, and there's all white women at this table, and I'm the only woman of color here, and I recognize I've been invited here. I'm dining, I'm speaking, but there's not much, there's a lot being felt and a lot not being said at this table. And in this dream, I feel that same sense of kind of overwhelm, intimidation, and just something urgent needs to happen, but it's not happening. And I recognize I'm being invited to this table to share on that, to speak on that. But there is a kind of a veil of fear that is stopping true connection from being spoken of happening, and recognize being called because there's a solution that is needing to be had. And I'm getting this vibe as I'm kind of dining and mingling that they're looking toward me for an answer, but being hesitant to truly ask that of me. And I can relate that to kind of social relations. I live in the South now as a woman of color, as a business owner, as a farmer. I have, been in many different situations where there hasn't been a lot of connection in predominantly white areas, and I come in, right? So again, I'm recognizing this call to be here in this space, and they want to hear from me. They are seeking an answer, and yet at the same time having this fear to ask me because they don't want to induce or ask labor from me. It feels like labor. It feels like a burden of this seeking for help. But I answered the call, so I'm in this room because I want to help. I want to be here. I want to make friends and connections and build a community. At the same time, my frustration that was building up in this space was the lack of truth, the lack of integrity and honesty. So often I see just women in general putting on this facade, this mask, this face of politeness, of respect, of timidness, and not truly embracing the full range of emotion, the rage, and the urgency we feel to get things done, to make things happen. Instead, we wait with a sense of shame and timidness for someone else to validate how we feel that experience and what we can do about it. And so, again, there's that hesitation to invite me into that space. And hesitancy on my part. I don't want to evoke those sensations in the first dream upon other people or these women, where I don't want to be seen as the overly angry and assertive, disrespectful woman of color in this space. I want to be respectful, and so I bite my tongue as well. And so all these women, and there were older white women sitting around me, were all biting their tongue and playing around like everything's fine when there's a storm outside. Something is really, really wrong here. But we know that something needs to happen. There is an important message or understanding that needs to happen at this table. So the evening has ended, and I go, as I always do, just how my parents trained, my mother has trained me, my grandmother, is that I clean the dishes. I love to wash dishes. I love to help clean up any space. And so I'm cleaning the dishes, and I'm feeling this frustration of the older white women taking a step back and giving me space and not wanting to feel intrusive. And maybe perhaps some subconscious too of this is my role, why I'm here. It's how I show love, and that's how they can relate to me, by allowing me to gift that to them. So that was this dream, and again, it's a reflection of things I move through in my personal life that I don't talk about often. And as I'm meditating and wanting to share this message now, and if you're still here, thank you. Of this need of the liberation of Black women, brown women, women of Indigenous heritage. Their liberation is the liberation of white women, and white women are being called to be the allies at this time as we together congregate and discuss and unveil and unmask and say, yes, we are all full of feminine rage towards this overarching dominant energy that is supposed to make us feel safe and protected, but is controlling. It doesn't allow us to feel this full spectrum of being a woman who wants to flow and be fluid and grow and cultivate. Instead, she, when I say she, I mean all women, can be put in this box and say, stay here, it's safer here. But women know, we know how to keep ourselves safe, we know how to grow things, we know how to build, but it just looks different than the masculine energy. But all of us women in this world, in this global state of consciousness, live in this box of looking up to men to lead the way. But the title of this message is Sister, Lead the Way. And so let us take the emphasis off of that masculine leadership, because they also need respite. They also need rest. They need time to breathe and roam and rest in their feminine energy, and to dream, and to not always be doing things all the time. And women, it is time that we take the mantle for our own life, and not only for us, but to lead a society, to lead a community, to lead your family. And I know there are women out there who already do that, and they're very tired of having to lead spaces all the time, especially when it is becoming overcompensated in emotional labor that is not truly accounted for, at least not in the Western world where I live in. Emotional labor is not compensated. There are not many jobs that have the same value as other skills that are more masculine energy dominant. And so women now are tired and angry and seeking that kind of release of expression, release, and that need to truly define, identify, accept, reveal, and grow within ourselves self-love and self-worth and self-value through our own creative ideas, through our intuition and our wisdom as women. And yes, we have to address that there have been an inconsistent, pretty obvious distribution of that power towards white communities, at least in America where I live, that I'm speaking from. It is mostly white people who still own land, still are the CEOs, right? We have to ask for permission as a people of color, for permission to receive an income. We have to work for the white man still, even a couple of generations after slavery has ended. There are families out here who are still catching up. And I don't need to preach to the choir. I'm hoping that if you're on the conscious path, you already know this, right? We're still healing in many ways. And I know I've been called as a young woman in her late 20s to start conscious lifestyle coaching, to recognize that the liberation of spirit is still very much occurring. We still feel enslaved in our consciousness. Speaking from as a woman of color, an immigrant woman, Indigenous background, multicultural woman. So I can speak at the Britain Connection also and say that white women, yes, you have also been oppressed, and your liberation, your empowerment at this time is to help your sisters, lead your sisters, congregate in your community with other women, invite women of color into that space, and make beautiful things happen, make change happen. Allow the men to sit down for a moment. It is okay to feel powerful. It is okay to speak. It is okay to have an opinion and to have thoughts. And I say that and you're like, oh, of course. But we don't see it too much. We don't see in how systems are being built. And until we see the reflection of the feminine spirit in the systems that are built, building and sustaining and operating the daily human experience that we know of, for the most part, we still have a lot of work to do. And so if you're watching this video still, this is a divine call for all beings, right? If you are a woman of color, this is your time to lead and accept that they're waiting for you. White women, white men, everybody is waiting on you to take charge and to lead. And you don't have to feel like you are overwhelming anyone or intimidating anyone. Your strength is revered. And I know you're tired of being strong. I understand. But that strength is ready to be shared. Allow other women, allow white women to carry that strength, to carry that emotional weight. Allow white women to hold space for you in your rage. Speak to them. Allow them to work with you, to partner with you, to cover you in this time. White women, I understand that you have had to look up to male leadership, that you have also found your own liberations in your own ways, and you're trying to do the right thing all the time. And sometimes it can seem a little bit misunderstood, right? When you're trying to lead liberations for women, of all women, and yet at the same time, how do you find your place and your space in that call for equality and justice as a white woman? And I recognize white women also have this need and calling to accept their self-worth and their self-love, that um, yes, they have this ability to be the in-between between the white community and black women, and at the same time yet being not accepted by anybody. And so white women, you're in a very unique space as well. And again, this is your call, if you're still watching this, if you're a white woman, to make sisterhood with women of color, to lean on each other, to hold space for them. And I know it's scary. I know you feel like, do you have the ability to help the way you want to help without leaning on the men, institutions, the systems that you need to sustain yourself? And I'm saying, yes, you can carry that. Yes, you are strong enough. Yes, we do need you. Yes, you do matter. Yes, you are valued. And yes, you are respected. You deserve respect. And so I'm praying upon this video that that we build and pray upon, and we meet each other at this mutual space of compassion for the feminine spirit, for emotional labor, for spiritual freedom, for entrepreneurship, for self-accountability and self-growth and self-love and self-worth. That is much needed at this time. We need also, as all women, to allow space and teach men that they are also loved and valued, not because of what they do with their bodies, not because of what they can provide, but for who they are in their soul. And men, you need time and space to discover what that soul is, and to rest, and to allow women to pour into you. If you're watching this, women, men have been pushed, and it has been a social problem. It is not necessarily men and patriarchy that has led us here to oppression, right? It has led us here because of many things, but that need for that man to be overly masculine has led to men who can become emasculated or too controlling, and we've ended up in this society that is too rigid, is too structured, it is not compassionate, it is not empathetic to actual human emotions and experiences. And so we need to allow men as a society to explore, to roam, to be free, to be selfish, and to pour into themselves, whatever that looks like, and stop asking them to have all the responsibility, to share that responsibility. So this is a long message, and it can be triggering to some people, but if you made it this far, I thank you for being on this path of consciousness. This channel, my business conscious lifestyle coaching, is for those who are on the path of self-development, healing, and spirituality. If you are interested in having discussions like this, or you need safe space to talk about what you're moving through in the spiritual dimension, all the dimensions, right? I welcome you to join me for the Medicine Garden on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It's on Google Meet. You get to RSVP for the link by just sending me an email, which I'll put in the description below. And if you need a coach at this time, my specialty is life purpose actualization. So if you are seeking clarity, if you have a vision, or if you already built a business and you just need help and accountability to further sustain it and to grow it in a way that is in integrity to your soul at this time, because that is what we need for the spiritual beings here who are awakened and wanting to change the world to be a more peaceful place. You need support, you need community, and I'm welcome to support you on that path. Just apply to short application, and then you get a free 45-minute call with me to see if we're online and see if I can help you. So you can decide that for yourself. And if you're not ready for any of that, again, my book, Phoenix Medicines, A Transformative Journey Through Consciousness, is available by, published by Otter Pine, and available on Amazon and most online retailers. And feel free to reach out to me at any time. Like, comment, subscribe, let me know who you are below in the comments, and let me hear from you. What would you like to discuss in the conscious world next? So thank you so much for being here. I will talk to you soon. Namaste and peace and love.